This is Black History like you've never heard before.
Elizabeth Jennings, July the 1st, 1854. New York City had trolley cars for blacks and whites. She boarded a trolley car for whites on her way to church, dressed respectfully and also a school teacher. She refused to get off the trolley car and was violently arrested.
There are some people who've been forgotten by history, like Elizabeth Jennings, one of the first African-American women to stand up to segregation and win the right to equal treatment, 100 years before the Civil Rights Movement. When a conductor throws Jennings off a horse-drawn omnibus, she pulls herself up and gets right back on.
I guess the conductor's turning around, maybe cleaning his hands off, saying, well, that's that. He turns around and she's on the bus, and he gets outraged.
Other riders are shocked when the conductor tells the driver not to stop until he comes to a policeman or police station.
So the policeman says, does anybody object to this woman being here? Nobody said a word. But the policeman was on the conductor's side, and he starts pushing her with his billy club and saying, look, you shouldn't be on this bus. Get off. Don't give us any lip. Don't say anything to anybody about this. And they push her off, they throw her off again in the middle of nowhere.
Elizabeth is furious. In February of 1855, the case goes before New York State's highest trial court, where Jennings finds herself face to face with an all-male, all-white jury.
Was there a defining moment in this trial, like a real turning point where things turned in their favor?
Well, it's hard to say because there is no transcript of the trial that survived or that was taken.
It's probably a good reason why this story has been largely forgotten.
Absolutely, and I think part of it is nobody was paying attention because they didn't think she had any chance of winning. Like two sports teams where one is so overwhelmingly going to win, they say, why even bother keeping score? Well, it turns out they should have kept score.
Arthur, the politically gifted attorney and future president, delivers a convincing case. And remarkably, the verdict goes in Jennings' favor. Elizabeth is awarded $250, the equivalent of about $6,000 today. And the Third Avenue Railway Company is ordered to allow respectable black people to ride without discrimination.
Irene Morgan, July the 16th, 1944. Traveling from Gloucester, Virginia to Baltimore, Maryland, on a Greyhound bus, refused to give up her seat and was arrested per the Jim Crow laws. But one of the differences with Irene Morgan, she violently fought the officers.
On the morning of July 16, 1944, Irene Morgan, after spending time with her mother in Gloucester, Virginia, purchased a $5 ticket from the colored window at the nearby Greyhound bus station. She boarded the bus to return to her home in Baltimore, Maryland. Irene sat in the back of the bus, the spot designated for colored people as it was under Virginia's segregation law for black passengers. When the Greyhound stopped in Saluda, Virginia, several white passengers boarded the already crowded bus. The bus driver ordered Morgan to give up her seat for the boarding white passengers. She refused. Morgan felt that she had done nothing wrong since she had paid for her seat and was sitting where she was supposed to in the colored section. After defying the bus driver's order, the bus driver drove to the local county jail, where the driver filed a complaint against Morgan for not giving up her seat. After the bus driver filed the complaint, a sheriff's deputy boarded the bus and issued Morgan a warrant for her arrest. Agitated, Morgan tore the warrant into pieces and threw it out the bus window. The deputy attempted to grab Morgan by the arm to forcibly take her off the bus. Morgan kicked the deputy in the groin. Morgan would be arrested and jailed. At her court appearance in the Middlesex Circuit Court, Morgan pleaded guilty to resisting arrest and was fined $100. However, she refused to plead guilty to violating Virginia's segregation law, for which Morgan was found guilty and fined $10. With the help of her lawyers, William H. Hasty, with Thurgood Marshall as co-counsel, Morgan appealed her case to the Virginia Supreme Court, where she was ruled in violation of the law. In October 1945, Morgan appealed her case to the United States Supreme Court. On March 27, 1946, Irene Morgan versus Commonwealth of Virginia, the court ruled 6-1 in her favor that enforcing Virginia state law on interstate buses was unconstitutional.
Rosa Parks, December 1st, 1955. Commuting from home to work in Montgomery, Alabama, refused to give up her seat to a white man. Her actions sparked the Montgomery bus boycott, and she became the face of the bus boycott movement.
Let me have them front seats. You hear me? Look, now y'all need to make it light on yourself now and get on up. Let me have them seats. Huh? Move that sign back. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. There you go. All right, sir, you can come ahead on now and move it in. Why aren't you standing up?
I don't think I should have to.
Excuse me, are you gonna move?
No. No, I'm not.
Now listen to me. If you don't move, I'm gonna call the police and they'll arrest you. You know I'll do it.
You may do that then.
All right. Yes, operator, I need the police department, please. Yes, I have a disruptive passenger on one of my buses. This is a Cleveland Avenue bus, and I'm in front of the Empire Theater. You can't miss us.
All right, who's making trouble here? Why didn't you stand up when the driver spoke to you?
I don't believe I should have to.
And why is that?
I'm not sitting in the white section.
Get on up out this bus now, you hear?
Man, don't make this tough on yourself. Come on.
Why do you push us around?
Law's the law and you're under arrest.
But there is more to this story. Here is a possible double-edged sword because the NAACP and the voices of the movement knew Rosa Parks was not the only resistor of transportation segregation. Bayard Rustin was a pioneer in the movement to desegregate interstate bus travel. In 1942, he boarded a bus in Louisville bound for Nashville and sat in the second row. A number of drivers asked him to move to the back, according to Southern practice of Jim Crow, but Rustin refused. The bus was stopped by police 13 miles north of Nashville, and Rustin was arrested. He was beaten and taken to a police station, but was released uncharged. Sarah Louise Keyes. As a private first class on 1st of August 1952, Keyes traveled from Fort Dix to her family's home in North Carolina. When the bus stopped to change drivers, the new bus driver demanded that Keyes relinquish her seat to a white Marine. Keyes, feeling tired, declined. She was arrested and spent 13 hours alone in a jail cell in Roanoke Rapids, North Carolina. She was then ordered to pay a $25 fine for disorderly conduct. Then there were the group in a lawsuit for refusing to give up their seats on public transportation. All resistors were charged as disorderly conduct. There's Claudette Colvin, 15-year-old unwed mother, March 2nd, 1955. Aurelia Shines Browder Coleman, civil rights activist, April 19, 1955. Susie McDonald, civil rights activist, October 21st, 1955. And Mary Louise Smith, October 21st, 1955. And of course, we all know civil rights activist Rosa Parks, December 1st, 1955. The information in this documentary does not, and I repeat, does not seek to diminish Rosa Parks' contributions to her place in Black history, only to tell the full story and not single out one person. Who is at fault here for not telling the full story? Was it white America? Was it the prejudice and biased views of the NAACP? At any rate, somebody lied and somebody withheld information which has been proven to be standard operating procedures of the educators of white America. Shout out to all the trailblazers, beginning with Elizabeth Jennings, the trailblazer of trailblazers, to Irene Morgan, Bayard Rustin, Lily Mae Bradford, Sarah Louise Keyes, Claudette Colvin, Aurelia Shines Browder Coleman, Susie McDonald, Mary Louise Smith, and the iconic Rosa Parks.
This is Black history like you've never heard before.